Toys R Us is going out of business and there's a lot of money to be made. Most people don't know before I went from $0 to $6 million with private label, I actually started my entire Amazon career selling stuff from Radioshack. So Radioshack went out of business about 3 years ago, and that's 2-3 years ago. And that's where I made a lot of my money in the beginning and really learned how to sell on Amazon and the potential opportunity of it. And I literally started with just a credit card. I was able to make over $150,000 over the course of about a year from nothing with Radioshack. So this is a huge opportunity with Toys R Us. And I want to just share the lessons that I learned from doing the whole Radioshack experience and how this whole thing might play out for Toys R Us and what to look for and how to maximize this opportunity. Just full disclosure, I'm not giving like financial advice or anything like here, so if you take any risks, they're on your own. I'll just share what I did and what worked for me, and then I'm actually not doing this because I'm just in a life situation where I'm going to contribute more to the world and more to myself financially by not doing this because I do things that scale now, and this won't scale. But this will help you get that initial amount of cash if you're in that situation where if you're trying to do Amazon private label or another type of e-commerce business and you don't have the money, this is a great way to build up that money and those e-commerce skills, or to just, get some cash to build out another product. So let's get into it, and I'll talk about Radioshack first, and then I'll talk about the skills and the knowledge that I learned, and then we will talk about how you can kill it at Toys R Us this year. Quick before we get to the video, we're giving away the free coaching session that I give away every single video, and the winner for this one is Shelly Rapinski. Glad that you're excited for the course. Free course, by the way, which I forgot to mention. Contact me on Instagram, send me a direct message, or go to my About page on YouTube, send me an email. And all you have to do is every single video, I give away a free coaching call, consulting. We can talk about whatever you want, wherever you're at in your business. And yeah, all you have to do is comment, like the video, be subscribed, and have hit that bell, and then you're eligible. So let's get on to the video. All right, so let me tell you about my Radioshack story and the lessons that I learned from that. So I was sitting there, and I had just been selling on Amazon FBA. I had been flipping some stuff that I was getting from surplus stores, from universities and whatnot, and selling that and making some money. And I just gone to a trip, just graduated college, and I was getting ready to go. Okay, I was like looking for a job, and then this opportunity came up. My buddy was he did nothing all day, every day, pretty much, and he was just looking at Reddit, and he saw somebody send a crazy receipt on Reddit, just showing like 95% off stuff at Radioshack, and he's like, "Oh, you should go look into this, and maybe we can make some money doing this." So we went to some stores, and they looked like this. And I was kind of disappointed because nothing was, it was going out of sale, or it was going out of business, but the deals really weren't that great, and I couldn't make much money. So I was scanning these and then using, an app to figure out basically, okay, what would I get, or just a basic Amazon app to see what would I get if I sold this on Amazon. I would look at the price, and then it would say, oh, you're only going to get whatever. And so I figured out like 30% off, you're not going to make any money. And I was pretty disappointed. It looked like nothing online. But the lesson that I learned was these stores, they close in waves. So there were about 5,000 Radioshack stores at the beginning, and they cut them into different tranches. In total, I think there were 17 tranches. But that's just because Radioshack was so giant and it closed over 2 years. So Toys R Us probably not going to be like that. But then, so I slowly figured this out, and there were a couple products that I was able to make some money on. I bought them, flipped them, cool. Got the money, and then now I went back, and they started to get progressively more appealable. Like I could make some more money. Let's see, they ended up going to about 30 to 60% off like this, and then now more things I could make money on. And where it says 30 to 60, what I've understood from basically all stores closing, they will go in these, so there's different tranches. So when I said tranches, essentially everything is cut up into these tranches. And what I mean by tranches is, let's say there's a certain group of stores that they've determined meet this criteria. Like maybe they get rid of all their worst performing stores first, okay? So it doesn't just mean that they're in the same spot of the nation. They could be all around the nation, all the worst performing stores that they get rid of, and they all go by this same discount scheme. So these stores will go from what I showed before, so 20 to 50. It's different for every store, but normally every company has the same scheme. So Radioshack's was it would go from 20 to 50 to 30 to 60 would be the next thing. And it would be maybe a month at 20 to 50% off. And then it would be, 30 to 60 is the next one. And so basically then within that, all of their products had the same scheme as well then. So, the really nice high-end brand name stuff might be only 30% off. And then the next stuff would be 40% off. And then their own private label stuff would be just, all 60% off. So those are kind of accessories, stuff that's really not worth much value. In Radioshack's example, it was cords, connectors, accessories, stuff they just jacked the price up on. Or power banks. I know some of their power banks, they were charging $60, and you could have got an equivalent one for $15 on Amazon. So I wasn't even interested at 80% off or 90%. So what 90 I kind of was, but still. So that's the way that stuff works. And progressively, you get a larger discount. And what you need to do is, what I learned was I had to play the waiting game, and I had to look at each product and see, okay, is this a product that has a lot of demand? Yes. Okay, then I'm interested in it. And then what rate would I like to buy this at? When would it be profitable to buy this? So whenever these new percentages happen, I know I go that morning, the exact morning that the percentage happens, and I buy exactly those products, and I'm the first one there. And that's how I would get it. So that's essentially what it was. So I'll just show you some pictures from my Radioshack experience so you can kind of see what it was like. Here's me. You got to have a big car because, I've filled this thing up. This was just a Kia Soul, but one trick that I learned is when you get really full and the doors, you can't open them without stuff falling out. You just roll the window down a little bit, and then you kind of slide stuff in there. And then I was going all around the nation. I went to over 200 stores easily. And what I would do is I would literally put it all in boxes and then ship it all back to my house or ship it directly into Amazon. But sometimes I wouldn't have enough time. So you've really got to execute when the correct discount phase would happen. And it matters where you are and how big a scale you're going to do this. If you're going to do it like I did, I literally went around the whole nation. And so what I did was I used this thing called Mapline to map out. It was so complex that I had to use mapping software. So this is just an example of one tiny trip that I was doing for one day. So I was trying to hit all of these in one, and they only give you one free Excel sheet per account, so I had to make 15 accounts. Otherwise, you could see the whole thing, but I had hundreds of them mapped out. So basically, what you need to do is you need to call the ones in the locations you're willing to go to and figure out if they're a closing store and what their discount scheme is, okay? And what rate they're at. And then you'll be able to see what tranche they're in, because things that are in the same tranche have the same discounts on that day. Great. And what you could do is ask for their closing date too. So basically, that's what I would do. And then I determined these were all in the same tranche. And then, this is what I did. You can put all your info in here, and you just add. With this app, it's really easy to use. You just make a Excel spreadsheet, put in all the locations and the information that you want, and then it maps it out for you. So by using this, I was able to best figure out the best route to go to get to all of these in one day and kill it. So I would do this, and I did this over and over and over. And basically, I just want to show you some pictures here. So, I was literally filling up my whole basement with this Radioshack stuff because it was so profitable. And I just said, I'm going to go all in on this. And that's what I did. So there's my basement. I filled up my whole garage with it too. These are good old antenna rotators. So I just want to show you some of the products that I actually got from this. So here's a video. So I would get mostly name brand stuff or stuff that's the exclusive brand of Radioshack that was actually valuable. So here's Skull Candy, no brainer. Okay. And I was getting these, I was only getting these at a discount though that made sense. So when I say makes sense, before I show you those, I would go to, Amazon, and I would look up a brand name product. So this is one from Toys R Us, like this Just Play Vampiro or whatever. Okay, what is it selling for? Using Viral Launch. So if you're brand new, you could use Viral Launch, or you could use Jungle Scout Chrome extension. I have affiliate links for both of them down below. You'll get discounts. You could help me out, or you could just go around them and pay more, and that's whatever. I don't care. Just listen to this info. So I'm able to see that it's selling $948 a month. So I'm like, okay, this product could be safe to buy. Let me make sure my mic's on here. Okay, yep. So it's safe to buy because it'll sell basically really fast if I sell this FBA. Okay. Now, how much does it cost? I want to see what the margin is. There it is. Okay, so unfortunately, because this thing is so big, you get a larger fulfillment fee from Amazon. So you might have to ship this one out yourself. So I would have to take that into account. But let's assume that it was small, and this is what it was. Then I would get $29.16 back. I want to make at least 50% on each product, just to grow my money faster. It matters. Now I would do like 40% or less because I have a lot of money, so it doesn't matter. And I would ideally just buy it wholesale. But but I'm not doing this, okay? Because I don't need to. Somebody else who really needs to hustle and make some money can go do this. I'm not saying that I like to concede away. It's just like my truth. Like, I've got bigger things that I'm working on. So, but this could change somebody's life, because the last time it changed my life. So I hope someone takes action on this. Boom. Now let's get to it. So I needed to get it for $19.99. So I would make a spreadsheet of each product and what price I would be willing to pay for each product, and then, waiting for the discounts for the right time. So just examples of what I bought. This is a video I took from a while ago. So Skull Candies, because those were name brand, but I would look at the price that they were selling on Amazon for, but then also the trend of the price. I forgot to mention that. And the sales rank. So you want to make sure it has consistent sales. So it does. I mean, it lowered a little bit after, lowered a little bit there, but not too much. If I look at detailed statistics, it might actually show me. Let's look at the trends and price. Let's let that load while I continue to show the video. Okay, so there's these Oki printers. So you can actually even get stuff from the back of the store when they're really close to going out of business. So these printers, they had these cartridges. Cool. So this Intercom system, this was actually, I would get the Radioshack private label brand because their intercoms were actually useful, and they were one of the best manufacturers of them. And a lot of people had them, and if one broke, they needed to add it to their system. So this was of value. But a lot of the Radioshack cords and connectors and stuff like that, I wouldn't buy because they just weren't profitable, even at 90% off. Well, sometimes at 95 maybe, but some of them were just a hassle. So you just really go for the quality ones that are selling on Amazon. Like, literally, that's all I care. Is it selling on Amazon? Am I allowed to sell it on Amazon? And can I profit? Boom. If so, buy them. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. I only lost money on about 1 to 2% of all the products that I bought total. The rest, I made money on some. I made up to 400% of my money or more. You could just kill it. And I was able to grow from just $1,000 at a credit card to hundreds, making over $100,000 from this. So what else have we got here? So those Oki printers, these were Amazon. These were like a private label brand of antennas from Radioshack. So those weren't selling well, but they eventually went to 90% off. So I was like, okay, because I could sell them for, I was buying them for like $5 and selling them for $30 or something. So basically, but the issue with these is they weren't selling that much. They were only doing maybe 60 units a month, and a lot of people were buying them too. So I had to hold out on these for half a year, but they paid off huge because I ended up actually selling them for more, about 50, because I was the last person holding them. So if it's a private label brand and it has sales and stuff, you could hold them potentially. It's risky, not all of them work, but you could hold it and be the last person standing in the world with this discontinued product and make a lot of money. So take that into account. This is like a name brand razor scanner, so police could see what speed you're going. HP printer cartridges. What else would I get? Oh, these are all iMacs, because I used to flip iMacs and iMac screens and repair them and make a bunch of money doing that. So this is how I started out my Amazon e-commerce business, just like hustling, flipping whatever I could. So this is all before. that here is like maker stuff, computer. These are like mics, but basically name brand. Everything here is name brand. Barely anything was the private label brand. These name brand scanners, cell phone boosters. These are like, yeah. So basically, I'll stop boring you guys here. Oh, there's more. But it was literally all name brand stuff that had proven sales. So I wasn't taking risks on anything here. If there's not sales, don't buy it. Okay? I'm not going to, why take a risk? There's no returns. There's no nothing. So this price, is this price? No, this is estimated sales. Okay, so sales are pretty good on this. I like that. Okay, so it looks like the price has been 29, pretty consistent. Okay, I would be confident buying those if you got to check out the fulfillment costs and everything. Regardless, okay, where's my find out products that sell high? Yeah, so just finding out what is the discount scheme, what products are profitable, and when do you want to buy them? And then, calling every day and figuring out, okay, when's the next rate going to come? And so I'll give you a couple, just checking out here. I mean, when you get near the end, you're going to get crazy stuff. Like here's one of my shorter receipts. Here's a crazy one. Look at that. It's almost as long as the checkout counter. And this is the most epic receipt I have. So I have a video of it, but it's too long. But look at this. So this is $29 right there. That's the actual amount I paid for this, and then $1.93 tax. But if we look right here, that's like $350, $400, so that's $32.50 plus another $330 plus that. This is about $4,000 of product that I got for $30. So I got it for less than 1% of the cost near the end. It can be crazy. Now a lot of this was junk, and I ended up having to donate a lot of it, but I did make quite a bit of return on my, I think I made $1,000 on that. So, that was worth it. And yeah, so just going into this, do your research, figure out what products are selling, are proven to sell, and at what price point you could make a good amount of money. I say I want 50%. And yeah, so if you guys are going to go forward and go ahead and do this, yeah, so just remember brand names with a proven sales history. Toys R Us exclusive products could be huge because they're never going to exist again. And so then what are the best times to buy? About 50 to 80% off is when things start to get profitable. And then where I made a lot of my money was in this 70 to 80 because that's when the store starts to clear out at that point. So if you get there the morning of when it goes 70 to 80, that's where it's just fire sale and money to be made on everything basically. And if you somehow get an 80 to 90 with a store that has a decent amount of stock, you could just kill it. So what I did is I worked on a couple stores and I would kind of call and see their stock level, and I actually made friends with the employees, and I was able to figure this all out. So what I did was I had a virtual assistant, and I had them call all the stores around the nation, and you get this inside info for me, figure out some stock levels, ask on some key top products that I knew there was a lot of money to be made on, and then made my judgment. And then it was, okay, boom, here's the stores I need to go to today, and, just boom, lay it out and hit them up. All right, so I'm just going to do a recap and also talking about some subjects that I didn't talk about. So one thing that you need to take into account with products is the supply and demand, because everything is supply and demand, and that's how I was successful at this. So you need to look at if something's selling $900 a month, you don't need to worry about the price dropping really too much. But some of these that are selling 100, you got to think the entire nation is liquidating this product. So you need to look at supply and demand, okay? Is demand going to increase for this product? Is supply ever going to increase? So if it's a brand name that's only selling 100 and then now there's a bunch of these at Toys R Us's, I wouldn't be happy with a 50% ROI. I'm going to want more of a 300 to a 400 because I know the price is going to drop just based off supply and demand, because all these other people see it, oh, it's going to double my money, blah, 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 and then everybody puts it in and they're not making sales and then they want their money back. So everybody drops the price to the bottom. So if you're going to do that, you've either got to play and wait and hold these for a long time, or you're going to just pass on those or wait till they're a very high ROI. So that's something that's really key. And I can't really explain this to people because I just do the math in my head, and I just have such a good sense of supply and demand that I guess I could break down the math. You just need to think, I can't even do it, because you have to look at the total number of stores and then see, okay, at what percent were how many of the products left in general, and was it profitable then? If they all disappeared before it was profitable, then okay, then the market's not going to get flooded. But if they all were waiting until 80% off, and then now there was 100 of them at every store, the market's going to get flooded, and it may look good now, but the price is going to go down. Whereas if you see some things are super hard to get, then, so you got to play that game, and there's math involved in this, and that's part of why I was able to be successful, but you can be too, but you just have to think through these logically about what will happen, the game theory. And some of the products would drop all the way to the point where I wouldn't make any money, but I knew that they were going to be money makers in the future. So I held on to them for half a year or even a year, and then the price, I was the last one left with them because I knew supply would never get larger, and demand was still there, and they're still ranking on Amazon making sales. So I was able to hold out on some, like these antenna rotators went all the way down to like 30, 40 bucks. I bought hundreds of them at that price because I knew I was going to be the last one left with them, and then I ended up getting about 150 bucks for them near the end because it was just me. No more were created ever again. So that's kind of stuff you're going to have to think about, but where it's really nice and safe is just a name brand product that has a lot of sales. You're probably safe with that. So just take that into account. What basically they close over time, okay? So you're going to have to find out when these tranches are happening. Be in and know their products, and then be watching, because don't be you may be waiting for the price to get better, but it's not going to get, it might get taken if you wait another round. So if it's profitable at 50% or something, you might just want to take it. Unless you see a lot in stock everywhere, then I would wait, because I was like, okay, these aren't selling out. I think I can do this. You got to do game theory kind of on each item, each store, each location. It's a lot, and so kind of overwhelming, but I would go hard at this, and I would do 16 to 18 hour days every single day when the tranches would happen. And because of that, I was able to make over $5,000 a day doing this when it would happen. But there's not many days when it would happen. So, but I would hit it hard on those days. And if you're willing to hustle and work hard, you can make money doing this, and you can make money doing just anything on e-commerce. You just got to be willing to put in the work and the research harder than anybody else, and be that person that takes advantage of an opportunity that somebody else isn't. So go out there, take an opportunity. If not, I hope this was a fun story to listen to. And so make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've done anything epic, or if you want to know more about the Radioshack story. I've got all sorts of cool videos and photos. But I was actually almost able to get an Amazon consulting job for Radioshack to help them sell their products, but that fell through at the last minute when they went bankrupt for a second time. But maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. So hope this was good. Check out some of the other videos, or subscribe, leave a comment. Till the next one.